We're back for episode 3 of Elevation. Hardcore Hoss, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Just looking forward to this great episode we got lined up for the fans. And they are just in for one heck of a treat in this episode. Just as we went through last episode was a great one as well. So, I just can't wait to get going.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be back here, man. Always a pleasure to spend this time with you, spend the time with the fans. 2 weeks ago, we had a great show. We had Money and Power's CEO, Charles Everest Osgood, here, as well as the now, spoiler alert, former WDWA heavyweight champion, Mr. Martinsburg, Jordan Evans. That was a great show, man. I enjoyed having both of those guys here. We got to pick their brains and see what they had to say about their upcoming matches from last week. But, man, we have 2 great guests this week, Hardcore Hoss. You ready for this?
I am ready for this. It is going to be one heck of a show. Looks like we got several fans ready for it as well. We got Matt out there. Kingston. Susie.
What's up, girl?
Your boy Jaxon.
What's up, Jax?
So he can't wait to see Tiphani's attitude tonight. It's going to be interesting.
What's up, Colton? Yeah, man. So tonight we have Sisaki will be in the house. I can't wait to talk with her. Man, we have such an inspiration story with her. Looking forward to having her on, hearing about what she's been through the last year and a half, almost 2 years. So happy that she's back with WDWA and everything's going wild. But in addition to that, John, you know who else we have on tonight?
As we were saying, we got Tiphani Grady going to be on tonight.
Temptatious Tiphani Grady. Man, I'm looking forward to having her on, man. She, it's going to be hard, to keep that girl quiet. So, John, be prepared, man. Keep the dukes up, brother.
It's definitely going to be interesting, I tell you. And it's going to be something to see what she's got to say tonight. After that win last show and everything, she's going to be fired up, I'm sure.
I'm sure we're going to hear all about it because obviously, all over the internet, all over social media, she hasn't been able to be quiet about it. When she loses, there's always an excuse. And when she wins, it's always in your face. So, man, I'm happy to have her on here. I think she's an incredible talent, but the card is stacked against her, in a triple threat. But we'll get to that soon. John, tell everybody about the FWWC, man. What you got going on, man? Tell them a little bit about what the FWWC is, how they can be a part of it, and what it's all about.
Yeah, we got there's this group, the FWWC Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter. It's almost just like fantasy football, baseball, all these fantasy sports. Well, we have fantasy wrestling. It is the closest thing to actual wrestling you can get. We do shoot promos against each other. We talk trash against each other. We make picks based on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and we role play our matches. It all takes place on Facebook. Be sure to check it out. I am your hardcore champion over there, the longest reigning champion in FWWC history. I've held that title for 2 years. So if you think you can take it from me, come on and try. And we just really have fun. And I think we have a little thing here that'll explain some of it. So let's see.
Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter, where the world's smartest wrestling fans come together to compete for real championships. Original characters, trash talking, picks during live events, pay-per-views, and even get-togethers like bowling, ice skating, and pool tournaments as well. We have members from across the globe who will stop at nothing to climb to the top of the fantasy wrestling power rankings. Simply the best fantasy wrestling group in the world. Why? Because of you, the creative and active members of the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter.
Man, definitely be sure to check it out on Facebook, Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter. We just came off of a little bit of a break and started a new season there. And we've had challenges the last 2 weeks, so be sure to check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Like I said last week in the previous show before that, man, this is something I would have loved back in the day, before I got into wrestling. So, I highly recommend if anybody's interested, reach out to Hoss, reach out to the Wrestling Talk podcast. Everybody there can point you in the right direction. Also, FWWC is also on Facebook, so please look them up if you're interested. I have people that come up to me in the shows and mention it. John, I know you have a booth that you set up that has some titles and stuff for that. You want to show everybody the title that you have?
Actually, I don't have it within reach of me right at the moment, but
all right, he doesn't have it with him, but guys, take my word or go back and look at previous episodes or check out FWWC. Their titles are badass. They're fully legit. What can be better than role playing? We all like a little bit of role playing. Hint, hint. In case the wife's listening.
Even if you are in the wrestling world, and you just need some practice on your promos, it's a great place to do that. We've got some people who are independent wrestlers there who come and just practice their promos and stuff. So, and they end up having a good time with it. So, it's always there.
Yeah, man, I see it all over social media already when I'm scrolling on my news feed. So, I mean, I know the word's getting out of there. Matt Pinkston, he likes role playing. Well, John, man, I always love to hear about it. But the last time, man, we had a guest on for the fans weigh in. It was Mr. Eddie Roberts. That was a blast, man. Prior to that, we had Andrew Dowdy. I didn't keep count on the fans weigh in. I don't know who won, but let's go ahead and put up those results from the last show so we can recap that.
Yeah, definitely, because that was a good show. Hopefully you didn't miss it, because it was one heck of a show there. So you want to run through those results for us?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I have to say I was so proud to have this card and put on this wrestling event. We made this wrestling event free for all current military and all veterans. So if you showed your ID, you got in for free. We had a handful of either active military or veterans show up. We had a nice tribute to them at the beginning of the show. A lot of them came up to me and thanked me for it. They actually are now looking forward to more shows so we got them hooked, man. So we're doing something right. But just something small that we could do to give back to people that gave so much to us. So it was an honor to put this show on, and it will definitely be a mainstay here at WDWA every year. and I'm looking forward for the next one. But I am a chatterbox today. That's what happens when you get no sleep. So results from last time: Just Jay defended the light heavyweight championship against Sean Phoenix. Man, holy hell, John! Like, I don't know what happened with Just Jay. I don't know what's pissed him off to give him this new attitude, but you could definitely tell, man, when he's getting in the ring, it's not about just trying to out wrestle the person anymore, man. It is about trying to hurt your opponent, and it makes me nervous for anybody that's getting ready to step in the ring with him. And that being said, Just Jay took out all of his frustration on Sean Phoenix post match, and here comes Mr. Ace Christian to save the day. But Just Jay wasn't taking that lightly, man. He put Ace Christian out, left both the guys laying in the ring, and finally, man, when Ace could get to his feet, he challenged Jay. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see those two guys link up, and I'm sure they'll put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you said, man, Jay just has this new attitude. And since finding this new attitude, he is just a totally different person. And just even, he's absolutely dangerous. And it's just something to see this change in Jay. And a lot of people thought that he was good before, and I heard people say that he'd be hard to beat before, but I think with this new attitude, he's even harder to beat now, and it's going to be something to see when somebody's going to be able to take that title off of him.
Yeah, man, I think you hit the nail right on the head with that. I think Ace Christian is an amazing athlete. I'm looking forward to that match. But, man, he's going to have to step it up a little bit, and he's going to have to bring himself up to Just Jay's level. And that's not going to be easy, man. But match 2, we finally had Bo Ross and Wraith meet in the ring after such a long history with those guys. I mean, this history goes way back to the Motor Mouths. Before Wraith joined up with Dex, he was known as Caitlin Patrick. And ever since, Wraith joined Dex, it's like some reason they handpicked Bo Ross to just torture, man. And here we're going on over a year of just nonstop torture. Every time Bo Ross was in another match, or he had something going positive for him, man, they just pulled the rug out underneath of him, man. And he could not move forward until he did something with Wraith.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough task. I mean, because like you say, he may have been known as Kalen Patrick, but that is not Kalen anymore. It just really isn't. He is just a totally different animal. He's not even a person. He's an animal. And he absolutely choked Bo Ross out in this last match. And it was something. And I mean, everybody, for the most part, the refs seem to be a little skittish of him, which I can't blame him. That he gets in my face the way he is, I might back down too.
Yeah, man, he's like a freaky little goblin, man. I don't know if he's trying to kiss me, trying to bite me, just trying to hug me, or just scare the hell out of me. But man, whatever it is, I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, it's something. Now, I must say I was quite impressed the way Danica got in his face, though. It just, that was something.
Yeah, well, Danica's tough, man. I don't care how soulless you are right now. I wouldn't want to stand up against Danica.
But I think you might want to look in just because of insurance liability and stuff. Might want to look in to see if he's gotten his rabies shots yet.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Had to bring my insurance up a little bit. But man, like right after that match, we had match 3, which was a blindfold match between misused Jimmy Stars against the Exile Zakar Shaw. Now, I know a lot of local wrestling companies, honestly, Independence itself, I don't think I've ever seen a blindfold match ever on the Independence. So it was an honor to have the first of its kind, to my knowledge anyways. But man, like, what an entertaining match, man. The lead up to this was perfect. Jimmy Stars, blinding Zakar with the powder actually causing issues with his vision for a while. And Zakar just made the challenge, man, like, eye for an eye kind of thing. You want to take out my vision, I'll take out yours. Let's see who's the best. And, man, I don't think I could wrestle with a blindfold, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that was quite entertaining. And, you have to respect Zakar, even though his eyes were messed up, he still wanted to get in there. He still wanted to fight. And you got to respect that. You got to respect the fight in him. And, that was something to watch that match. Both people blindfolded, trying to figure out how to get over on the other one. But,
yeah. Very dangerous.
It was. And it was very fun to watch, though. I mean, I enjoyed watching that match and calling that match. So it's definitely something. If you missed it, make sure you go back and catch it when you get the chance. So.
Yeah, definitely catch it on Frontline. Yeah, man, but Zakar Shaw finally got his revenge on Jimmy Stars and was able to get the pin. But as soon as that happened, man, as soon as that 3 count happened, here comes Sean Cannon out, attacking Zakar. Misuse up on Zakar, beating him down, man. And, thank God Clay Jacobs came running out, to save the day, because I was getting worried about him,
Yeah, definitely. It was not pretty at all when the two of them got to each other. And, but it would, when Clay came out to help Zakar, and that was good to see. And it's good to see that they seem to be putting their differences behind them and just working together.
Yeah, man, like you hit the nail on the head on that one too. And what a history between Zakar and Clay. It goes back a couple years to where Clay got injured, broke his foot in multiple places, never thought he'd ever wrestle again. So bad that Zakar even went to the hospital, to just rub it in his face that night. I'll never forget. I was there. And what a turnaround with it, man. I don't know what happened with Supremacy. I don't know what happened after Zakar lost his title, but I'm loving this new frame, this mind frame of Zakar. I think he's bringing so much to the table. I think he's on the path, that he should be, straight towards the heavyweight championship or even the tag championship. Definitely one of the top guys here at WDWA, and I can't say enough about Clay Jacobs either, and to put those two guys together. I mentioned it before. To me, it's like the WDWA Mega Powers, but before that first blood match kicked off, man, did you see how they threatened Clay by, putting Zakar's hand in the chair and threatened to break it?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, they sat there telling him, they were going to break it, and that he couldn't, if he came in the ring, then Zakar was going to pay. And then Clay was okay, but then they did it anyway.
Yeah, man, they went ahead, jumped on the chair. He got immediate attention out back. He's gone to the doctor since then. He's going to be out of action for a little bit. Unfortunately, he will not be able to make this year's 2025 Rumble. So all that stuff I said about him, on his way to the top, he's still gonna be in that direction, but it won't be through the Rumble, So that's unfortunate news with Zakar. But yeah, right after that happened, we went straight into the first blood match between misused Sean Cannon and Clay Jacobs. Holy hell, that was a hard-hitting match. I was fearful for both those guys. I mean, I don't know how they even made it out of the building, much less home. I don't know how. Hopefully somebody else drove them home.
Yeah, it was one heck of a match. And, I actually got a laugh at one point because there were fans trying to hand Clay paper and kept saying, "Here, paper cut, give him a paper cut." And Clay's like, "That's just too easy." No, but it's
I did see one of the fans that are actually in this chat right now. I seen this video across social media where he got up and gave Sean Cannon a big chop, man. Did you see that?
yes, I did see that. As a matter of fact, he just made mention of that just a bit ago there, and I saw that when that happened, and you know, you got to remember you're not supposed to touch the wrestlers, but I guess in this case it was okay because since
I
he was invited.
Yeah, I think Clay asked him nicely, but yeah, Gary, one of our diehard fans, he's there every show. He led Sean Cannon. He took out some of his frustration on Sean Cannon, but man, this match ended very with controversy. Sean Cannon behind the ref's back actually took fake blood, showed everybody it was fake blood, and rubbed it on Clay's face, and then threw the bottle out. And the ref, not knowing the fake blood, just assumed that Clay was bleeding and had to call for the bell. So I can only imagine being Clay, man. That's got to frustrate you so much that obviously Cannon couldn't get the deal done. We all know this ain't over yet. These guys will definitely be in the ring together. Definitely see Zakar coming back, with revenge. Man, this is just the limit of where these guys would go, through the roof. But match 5, we had CEO, who was on our show 2 weeks ago, facing off against Victor Jones. What you think about this match, John?
Yeah, that was another hard hitting match for the most part, and the two of them just really went at it with each other, and that's another one. I'm not sure that it's actually over though.
Yeah, no way. Again, another two guys that have years of history. I mean, this goes back. WDWA has been around for almost 9 years now. Their history goes back way before that. In a company called Covey Pro Wrestling, where they got their start. And those guys have been on same side of the ring against each other ever since then. I mean, these guys are probably a good 13 years, 14 years where these guys have been clashing or running wild together. And we talked about it with CEO 2 weeks ago about all the issues he's been having with JTR and Money and Power. And man, all of those issues came to light again, at Salute to the Fallen, which caused CEO to fall to take the fall against Victor Jones, man.
Yeah, and like I say, this definitely, it's not over, and I don't think Cake Boss is going to stop until he can convince CEO that he is on the wrong side and that he needs to drop Money and Power. And because there was a few times that there seemed to be a little miscommunication between Money and Power, that they didn't seem to be on the same page with each other. So
yeah, well, one thing I want to point out before we move on to the next match is, did you see at the end when JTR and Jason Curtis tried to come up behind Victor Jones and attack him, and CEO kind of just stepped in and was like, you know what, guys, like we don't need to do this tonight. Totally shocked JTR, totally shocked Jason Curtis, totally shocked me, totally shocked the fans. But man, like maybe the stuff Victor Jones is saying and the stuff that the fans are saying and the stuff that we've said, maybe it's starting to stick in CEO's head. I don't know, man. Time will tell. But match 6, our guest tonight, Miss Tiphani Grady, joined up with father-son duo Shane Malice and Gavin Miller against the women's heavyweight champion, the Alpha Woman, Amara Void, and the returning Big Money Inc. Man, what'd you think of that match?
That match is one that, if you remember, I called, and I think I was the only one to call it. I think everybody else went with Money and Power, and I mean not Money Power, Big Money Inc. Too many money people here, but went with Big Money Inc. on that, and it was hard not to go with Big Money Inc. But just the drive and determination of Shane and his son. They are one heck of a team, and you can tell they are determined that they are going to put their stamp on WDWA, and everybody's going to know them as a tag team and know what they're capable of. And, with Tiphani trying to kick and scratch her way back to the top, she seems to quickly be making a case for that. So,
Yeah.
I had a feeling that one way or another, they were going to come out on top on that one. And they did. So, hats
Yeah.
off to them for that, because Big Money Inc. is a very hard team to put down.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. Tiphani Grady getting this win for her team is what got her the title shot for this weekend. She definitely has been doing whatever it takes to be victorious. I was a little nervous, though, for Shane Malice and Gaven Miller when Tiphani got a hold of them to join forces, because we saw how it was when Tiphani tried to work with somebody else before with Gerard Garrett. Just not on the same page, but it wasn't the case with these guys. I don't know if it was because she was dealing with two professionals and two guys that can handle their own, and Gerard Garrett couldn't. I'm not sure, I'm not sure the logistics, man, but for some reason it all worked out. And I mean, the deck was stacked against them. I mean, you had former multiple WDWA tag team champions, Big Money Inc., who just got back from a tour from Japan. These guys were telling me about Japan. I have to tell you these stories offline, but man, like, I'm very jealous of their trip to Japan. But I mean, these guys, top-notch tag team, probably one of the best tag team on the whole East Coast, if not the whole United States. Definitely got, if anybody doesn't know who they are, they need to look them up. They need to check out the matches of these guys. Definitely can hold their own against anybody. But you take them, the highly decorated tag team, and you put them with the women's champion, the alpha woman, Amara Void. I mean, on paper, this seemed like a shoe-in, man. It seemed like a shoe-in.
Yeah, and like I say, it was hard not to go with them when I didn't last time, but I knew it seemed like it should go that way, but just the determination of Tiphani and the determination of Shane and Gaven,
Yeah. By any means necessary.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, man. I got to be honest. I would have lost money on that. But yeah, man. Match 7, you have Mr. Grimm, one of the newcomers here at WDWA, going one-on-one with Y Keys. Before we talk about this match, let me just make a quick note, John. Y Keys was here alone. No Forte, no Austin Kingsley, no Chulo Montana, nobody here to support him, and they put him up against a guy like Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, we made note of that on commentary, that he was out there by himself. Where was Forte? Where was Chulo? And he was by himself after your announcement last show and confirming the rumors. Is there hard feelings there? Is there friction there? Is supremacy still supremacy? There's just so many unanswered questions that I don't know when we'll get the answers to, but it's definitely something that I'm keeping my eyes on. I know I am. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, the wild card in this to me is the Holy Grail champion, Austin Kingsley V. Like, we have not seen him since winning the Holy Grail, so does that mean like something wrong where he can't compete, or does that mean he's being very strategic with his game plan? Like, he's one of the guys that I don't know what's going to happen with Austin, or what's going to happen with Supremacy once Austin comes back. We talked about Zakar. We talked about he's got other things going on. Chulo Montana actually, he's been dealing with LDJ and Stephen Forte. Same with Y Keys. We are all over the place here. Man, do not sleep on Y Keys. Like, I know that Y Keys is amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete, incredible wrestler. He has like what I would consider the total package. He has a great look. He has a great height to him. Very good in the ring, very good on the stick. I think that he's got a bright future. And I said this 2 weeks ago when we talked about this match. I think he has a bright future, but I think right now is a little, the water's a little muddy, until he can figure out what he wants to do, whether he wants to continue going in a stable or he wants to go tag team or he wants to do this. I think he's going to be a little all over the place. But dude, Mr. Grimm, I mean, holy hell, he has been just bulldozing through everybody that he's went against so far. Doesn't matter who, I'm actually looking forward to, the days where, we see Mr. Grimm and guys like Clay, or Mr. Grimm and guys like DeMarcus, or we see Mr. Grimm and guys like AK. Like, he has definitely, came in the WDWA, definitely raised the bar for everybody else. And, just like his previous matches, man, Mr. Grimm came in and defeated Y Keys. The sky's the limit with that guy.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw him do things that I've never seen anybody do to Y Keys, and it was something. It really was. And just, I don't know what to say when it comes to Grimm. He is a heck of a force to be reckoned with. And there has to be big things ahead for him. So,
yeah, I think so too, But man, here we go. Main event. This is something that, we talked a lot about 2 weeks ago. We had the heavyweight champion on here, Mr. Martinsburg, Jordan Evans, who's had the title since November, going one-on-one against Money and Powers, JTR's Pride and Joy, the Monster, AK Bane. Man, I don't know what to say. I mean, we had Jordan on here last week, and I praised him for, all of his hard work and dedication through all the hard times he was facing, and a lot of people that didn't know about his personal life, we got a little personal 2 weeks ago, and he was able to tell people exactly, what he was fighting through at home, and still able to come and still able to fight and still able to win. And, I knew that guy had so much heart, and I thought that heart was going to be good enough for AK. I still believe that he has what it takes to beat AK, but I do not think he has what it takes to beat AK, JTR, Jason Curtis, and CEO when they all get involved. John, what do you think?
When I watched that match, Donnie and I both, we were just sitting over there absolutely stunned. We have never seen anybody absolutely manhandle Jordan the way AK did. That was something else. And there were times that I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And now Jordan, he did get some offense in. He did have some, he did have some great moves at times, but just for the most part, AK absolutely dominated. And yeah. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anybody just absolutely dominate Jordan the way AK did. And AK is another one that is just an absolute monster. And
yeah. Now that the heavyweight championship is around the waist of AK, man, I don't know anybody that could beat him.
I don't know. I think with AK as the champion, WDWA is in trouble.
Big boss,
and the whole locker room better be on notice,
Yeah. Now he's going to be one hell of a champ, and, it could be a lifetime thing there, man. But got to give credit where credit is due. He's worked really hard to move up the ranks. Definitely earned the opportunity for that title shot and took care of it. So congratulations, AK. But man, I'd love to see you drop JTR and get in the ring with guys like Clay and DeMarcus and Grimm, and definitely bring the best heavyweight champion that you could be. So all that being said, man, that was a great show. I love recapping it with you, man. I love talking about it. I could talk about it for days. Whenever we have WDWA shows, they just make me so proud, man. They make me so proud to be a part of it. But everybody that misses the shows, feel free to check us out on Frontline every Thursday night. Juan, he puts together a great show for us. He does all the editing. This guy never sleeps. He works full-time job working at a TV studio, then comes and does stuff for us, helps other people. He's just an amazing, amazing guy, and I give him all the praise. But definitely check out Frontline every Thursday. John, I think we have a clip. Let's tell everybody all about Frontline. That's right. You can check it out at youtube.com/wildpatriot. You can also hear from Hardcore Hoss and Dashing Donnie Diablo, as they call the action. We also have other guys, Steve Nets. Sometimes we have Jason Heat. All the commentary team, they do a great job. You also check out Maya, Adriana. She's killing it. Just a great team putting on Frontline. Very proud to put that out there. It's a great product to watch. Feel free to watch it, share it, post it. Let's get the word out there. Let's get everybody to see what we enjoy to do, what we enjoy doing for you guys. And man, just so happy to be able to put that product out there. But one other thing, man, that I'm happy about that is definitely moving forward is we are opening up World Domination Wrestling Academy. This has been like a dream come true ever since I stopped full-time wrestling, is to be able to take, the knowledge that I've learned from multiple people in multiple years and be able to pass it along. I have a great bunch of people that are going to jump in and help out. We're going to have Ryo. He's going to be one of our main trainers there. If anybody knows the Lightning, Ryo, what an amazing guy, man. He's gone through the MCW camp. He's gone through the Ring of Honor camp. He's gone through the CZW camp. He's wrestled all around the world. The guy's so knowledgeable, all different wrestling styles. And you take that and you take all the other people on our roster. Everybody wants to see this brand succeed. We all want to help people's dreams come true. And we just want to build the best wrestlers that we can be and send everybody out. And just enjoy what we love to do, which is pro wrestling. It's nothing like it, the greatest drug in the world. So if you know anybody or yourself that is within driving distance to the Martinsburg area, please reach out. and let's make your dreams happen. So excited about that, John.
Yeah,
You want to talk a
definitely.
little bit about what you got going on with Wrestle Talk, buddy?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, every other Tuesday night on the Tuesdays that we don't have Elevation, we do have Wrestle Talk podcast. We go live every other Tuesday night. And next Tuesday night, we'll be on episode 517 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. And Luke Roberts will be joined by Nikki O'Shaughnessy and John Doherty of Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. John Doherty is a member of the board of directors of the Hall of Fame and a former MMWA heavyweight, junior heavyweight, and tag team champion of 2023 and a member of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame board. And then Nikki O'Shaughnessy will also be joining him, and she is a member of the board of directors as well and a 2024 inductee, and she's a former MMWA women's champion. So that should be another great show hosted by Luke Skywalker and Jeremy Karp, and they are just two absolute legends out in the Midwest. So be sure to check that show out, check those two out. It's going to be an absolute privilege to have them on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And we have many other great guests lined up. So, be sure to keep an eye out on the Wrestle Talk podcast, all their social medias, so that you can definitely find out who we have coming and keep up with the show. And if you scan that, that'll give you all the social media for Wrestle Talk podcast, our Facebook page, our X, YouTube, our iPodcast, and all that good stuff. So,
yeah, man, you guys have a great team over there. Always put out a great product. I love the relationship that WDWA has with Wrestle Talk podcast. Nothing but praise for all of you guys. You guys work really hard, and anybody else that can help get that word out there, get more listeners, and also listen yourself. These guys always put on a great show. Definitely, speak from the heart when it comes to what they love about pro wrestling. And I can't talk highly enough about Hardcore Hoss, Renee, the whole team over there. What a great group, so please share that. Please take time to watch it, listen to it. Just help get the word out there. John, buddy, we've come to the time for our first guest, man. This is somebody that I hold very high up on a pedestal, have nothing but positive things to say about this individual. Peeking behind the curtain a little bit, which I don't like to do. What a great human being. And, business-wise, it's fantastic to do business with. Never had any complaints, always up to do whatever, always a team player, and I'm just thrilled to have her back to WDWA. I'm thrilled to have her on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hi and welcome the great Sisaki.
Welcome.
Where are the freaks at?
Hi. Really? What's up?
It's skipping a little bit, girl. So we're breaking in a little bit. So if we have a disconnect or something like that, let us know. So how you doing?
Of course. I am well. Everything's good.
That's good. That's good. I am thrilled that you're back in WDWA. I am thrilled that you came and helped Valerie take on Miss Tiphani Grady and Layla James, and you taught those girls a lesson. And man, what a moment to have you back.
Yes, it's such an honor to be back. No one can pick on my Valerie.
Yeah, you and Valerie have a lot of history here at WDWA. Now I can say you guys have been on both sides, teaming up and against each other. You guys had one hell of a match at Berkeley Mania.
Yes, I enjoy working with her, but I also enjoy fighting her. We have a love-hate relationship.
Well, it definitely brings out the best in both of you guys. So, yeah, thanks for being here tonight, taking the time. Me and John talked about, your name popped up when we first talked about doing this podcast from the get-go, and we've just talked about it, and it was no better time than now, coming up to our all-women's event, to have you on to talk a little bit about it, talk a little bit about yourself. But we're thrilled. John, you have anything to say to Sisaki?
I'm just absolutely thrilled to see you back in the ring, period, and especially back with WDWA. The night that you came back, I absolutely popped so hard when you came out through those curtains, and it was just something. And I just so happy to see you're back, and especially after everything that you have gone through, and you are just an inspiration to many. So
I definitely try.
She's one tough SOB, man. You can't hold her down. So Sasaki, tell us a little bit about your background. Like I know you trained down with Boogie. How many years you got in? What made you want to get into wrestling? And tell me a little bit about the Boogie camp.
Well, wrestling, I kind of was in the right place at the right time. I was following a small promotion around in Virginia down here, and I met Boogie, and the rest was history. I went up there, and the first day I paid my money, and I was in there bumping, ready to rock.
Yeah,
I
Boogie.
started in, I believe it was '09. Yep, it was '09. I was about to turn 14. So,
Wow. So you started when you were 14.
yes.
Wow. So did you need parents' permission, or how did that all work?
Oh, yeah. My mom took me every Sunday.
Yeah. And that was what, Shaw, Virginia, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, Shawsville, right outside of Christiansburg.
Yeah. What a great camp, down there with Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant and his wife Angel. She's always amazing. But yeah, I mean, like, who else has come out of that camp?
Oh man, well, right now the biggest one is gonna be well, it's me, it's Mike Mars. Koga is really, really good. Mike Mars and Koga, they are also head trainers at the camp as well as myself, but they're there all the time working with new students and building people up. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
I met Jimmy years ago, and at the time, I had a mohawk, and I was just going to a convention, and I had I had my piercings everywhere and my tattoos, and I was just going to a convention to meet guys. I wasn't in the business yet, and he just was like, he's like, "Hey, baby." He's like, "Come over here, daddy." He goes, "I'm loving this look right here. I'm loving it. I'm loving this thing you got going on right here." He goes, "Man, you would fit in so great down here at, at my school, man." And he gave me like all the information, and he was the coolest guy. And I would have loved to go into that camp. I looked into it, but man, it was just 4 hours away, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It would just be amazing to learn from this guy that I got so much respect for. And not only just in the wrestling business, but man, what a cool freaking dude. Every time I've met him, he has been the coolest dude. Holy hell. And everything. I've even heard him talk about his ex-wives, and he's talking nice about him. He's just the nicest guy. But yeah, I wasn't able to attend that school, but I'd love to hear, that, from people that are, that attend it and break through and able to take some of the talent that they learn from Boogie out. And, Sasaki, when I put you over at the beginning, I think whatever you learn from that school and whatever natural abilities you have, I think you're great, so I definitely putting over the school. And, if you're down there training as well, I mean, that's a blessing for everybody down there. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really it's more of a family environment. It's it's really, and Boogie, he's just so humble and just so grateful and just happy to be here and just enjoys everybody.
Yeah, definitely one of the nicest guys I've met in the business. So cool. And Angel was, I met Angel before too. Sweetest lady.
Yes. Yes, she makes a lot of the gear for a lot of the kids that's coming up and stuff. She makes a lot of the clothing for anybody, and she's so easy to work with, and she's just an amazing person as well. They're just two little peas in a pod. They're perfect for each other.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of making gear, I mean, where you got some badass masks? Like, where do you get your mask done at?
I've got this guy in El Paso.
Yeah,
Oh
has he done
yeah,
all?
he only makes mine, so it's all me.
That's badass, John. What, you gonna get yourself one of those masks?
Hey, I'd love to get one of those masks. I think I'd look good in one.
Yeah, it's only for the freaks now. You got to be
Literally.
freak. You got to change it to Freaky Hoss.
Hey, you've never seen my alter ego, so
Well, we know you like
Oh,
role
wee
playing
wee.
now. Well, Sasaki, we asked your permission first to bring up some of the struggles that you've had and the reason why you stepped out of the ring. And with your blessing, you said you would like to talk about that tonight. I know that you had one hell of a year, if not a year and a half, almost two, where you just had one hell of a battle. Would you mind elaborating on that a little bit and telling us a little bit about what you went through and why you had to step away from the ring?
Oh yeah. Well, come to find out, I wound up having stage 3 breast cancer, which we thought was stage 4, but luckily it was stage 3 once we got in there and figured it all out. But went through all the treatment, the chemo, the radiation, the double mastectomy. I'm officially a flatty now, so
Real quick, were you having pain or was something happening to where what made you get checked, or was it just an annual checkup and you just happened to find it, or um,
it
just
was all
curious?
me. It was all me. I found it myself just because I'm pretty active. So, I know my body and I didn't really
Yeah.
have any side effects or anything. All it comes down to is just feeling a lump and then nothing hurt, nothing, anything. I've always been a sleepy kind of chick. So,
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you went and you got this diagnosis and you started to do treatment. Tell us a little bit about that. What did you have to do during that time when you got treatment?
Yeah. So the first thing was chemo, of course, which I wasn't down for the chemo. Of course, why would I be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's horrible. I understand the benefits, but it's rough. I did one round of it. It stuck me in the hospital for a hot minute, and
Mm.
I told the doctor, I was like, "You tried to kill me. I'm done."
Was he against that decision?
Oh yeah, but they came in once they came in and saw me and how bad I looked because I had dropped so much weight and you couldn't keep anything inside you at all,
Mm,
medicine, everything. So it was I had never like as a wrestler, I do a lot of crazy things. I've done, and I've never been at that point where I thought it was going to be over. Like I've had injuries and everything, but never felt at that point. But once they saw me, they were like, "Okay, yeah, let's cut it." And I was like, "Please."
and you had them both done at the same time?
Yep, I had a double. It's called a double mastectomy, but
Hmm.
I had a radical mastectomy on the right side, which was where the cancer was.
So f- forgive me for not understanding how it works. So you went in for you found a lump, you went in for a checkup. Um, so even though the lump was found on one side of you, they felt the need to. Did it travel? Was it starting to travel? Throughout your body?
So
Why?
I have a gene in my blood that
Uh,
I have gotten from my mother's side, because my mother also had cancer on the right side. She had a double mastectomy.
mhm.
She had all her lymph nodes removed, and I pretty much the exact same thing, like mother, like daughter, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I went in and got checked. Like literally that same week, I had I don't know what it's called, where they took a sample of the lumps, and come to find out that was more than what they expected. So they had to take all the lymph nodes out, and which the surgery went extremely well and quite easy. So
How was the recovery?
the first 2 weeks was probably rough, but my body healed extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was extremely lucky.
Wow. Yeah, like I'll never forget when you made that post. Like it totally caught me off guard. Like we talked about prior to or at the beginning of you coming on. I've had nothing but positive business relationship with you. We talk personally. Like I think you're a fantastic human being. Outside of the wrestling business, I think you're a fantastic wrestler. Um, and if anybody has ever met you, like you're an open book. Like you love being the great Sisaki. Like you love it. And that's the vibe I get when I'm around you. So um it it hit like the WDWA fans and it hit the WDWA locker room really hard when they saw that, and it was completely shocking. I know, like around my household, we talked about you a lot. We were worried about you, and I'm just so happy, because I stayed in contact with you the whole time. I kept checking in, and I know, like I knew you were in a bad place, um, mentally. Like I could tell that you were you were this was really hard on you, you know, and I told you, I was like, you just got to keep pushing through. You keep got to be strong, and um, man, like you kicked cancer's ass, you know, and to to have somebody like you that's such like a great personality to be around, um, to even when things are at their hardest and you just kept pushing back. I mean, I I couldn't imagine being in your shoes. I couldn't imagine trying to find that strength to to try chemo or to keep going to the doctors and stuff like that, because I couldn't imagine just how weak you felt and stuff like that. And you know I mean, God bless you for pushing through, and even the times you want to give up, you still kept going. And um, man, I mean, you're just a great inspiration to everybody, and I'm happy that you made it through this. I hope that uh, nothing ever comes back, or there's no signs of coming back. I'm hoping that you're completely out of the water. Um, but man, like uh here at WDWA, we were all rooting for you and we were all praying for you. And like I'll never forget, you were scheduled for our first women's show. Uh I think it was January 7th, if I'm not mistaken, but it was our
Mhm.
first show of this year. And you're one of the main women that wrestle, on our roster. And there's no doubt about it that you were going to be on that show, and I had you scheduled, I had you booked, and it was right around that time where you said you couldn't. And I'll never forget, we opened up that show with the announcement, with your blessing, of course, with the announcement of what you were going through. And oh my God, like you could just look around the fans, and you could see like everybody was feeling it. And people were chanting your name, and like it's been such a, like, I know the fight is with you, but it's hit WDWA hard to where we were all behind you the whole time. And the fans were constantly coming up to us, coming up to me, asking for updates. And I'm so happy to hear that you kicked out of this. I'm sure your family's happy. I'm sure your man's happy. I'm sure Boogie's happy.
Mhm.
Thank you for not giving up and pushing and allowing the WDWA audience to have Sisaki back. So thank you.
And I appreciate all y'all, like everyone checking in, and because trust me, it was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
A roller coaster that was not fun. That's for sure. Like, I'm all down for a little bit of pain, but not that kind. Not that kind. The emotional kind of pain's a little rough. But
Yeah.
like just having everybody having my back and understanding and being okay with what I'm dealing with and how I'm dealing with it was very important, very encouraging. So definitely gave me another reason to fight and come
Yeah.
back even stronger.
No, that's awesome. John, man, what do you think, man? What an amazing story, man. And you were at those shows. You were at the shows where people were asking for, you were at the, every time we gave updates, things like that, people were chanting her name. If there was ever a doubt that Sisaki was not like a mainstay at WDWA, or people weren't thinking about her, man, like we put that to bed real quick because it was just nonstop from the time you were out until the time you came back. I always had people ask about you. John, right? You were there.
Yeah, definitely. I kept following all your posts, and I kept commenting on them, and I just I I was really I was sad to see when it happened, and but I kept you in prayer the whole time, and Susie and I both, we still keep you in prayer, and we're so glad to see you back. But through everything, what was how hard was it to actually not just recover from the surgery, but actually get back to the point that you could get back in the ring? And because when you came back, it was like you never missed a step. You couldn't tell that anything had happened. You were that good when you came back. And so how hard was it to come back that way, and what challenge was there to have that happen?
Definitely after the mastectomy, that right side, the arm, I had to get all my range of motion back. So like I still had drains hanging out of me, like, and I was trying to get all my range of motion back. Like that was the main focus, was to be the same, even though I'm different, to be the exact same as I was before. And that was definitely a challenge.
Well, I must say you have done a great job at it. I mean, you are just as dominant as ever, and just seeing what you do with everything you've been through, it's just really something. And there's no words to describe, seeing you do it the way that you do.
And I appreciate it. I try to bring something different and something freaky, weird, just completely oddball. And this did happen to me, and I'm still the same freaky wrestler that I've always been, but I'm also a little bit human. So it's
Just
great to be back
little bit.
and just to have all you guys.
Yeah. We're happy that you're back. It's always a pleasure, and the fact that you're in the ring now, is there any concern, like the doctors know that this is what you do?
Yeah, the doctors was like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I know, because I've been there. I'm a wrestler. Like when I go to the doctor and they ask me, I give them stories, you know. So, but you know, I just was curious if your doctor knew the truth.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of had to break it down to them and explain to them that I am not a normal human being. I'm a little different. And I explained to them, I do this and this is part of me. And they were like, well, we usually tell people to not get tackled by a football player, but we can't tell you that. So continue. Like, oops.
Yeah. Like you can't keep a tough girl down, man. I'll tell you that. Like I always tell everybody, you know, women are tougher than dudes. You know, if you put us in that same situation, we'd be crying like babies, and you wouldn't even see us return. Um, you know, God forbid us give childbirth, but man, women are tough. You know, I you know, this is all working out, and I didn't mean for this to work out, but like, you know, we're having this all women show, and you know, one of the things I love about doing these shows, and this is the second time for WDWA, is people don't realize like how hard the women work. You know, the women actually, in my eyes, work harder than the guys because they have to stand out more because, you know, it right now in this world, the wrestling world is, you know, the women matches aren't put as like the marquee matches, right? So they don't get all of the they don't get promoted as much as the other stuff. And to me, like I want to pull the rug out underneath all of that and be like, no, guys, screw that, screw you know what you think a pro wrestler is, and you know these girls need to freaking shine because I see how hard they work, I see how tough they are. I mean, for example, Sisaki just went through, she kicked cancer's ass. Like, you know, and these women's, and all these women, you know, they work with broken bones. They, you know, some of them are moms. They go home and they have to be a mom and work full-time jobs and still do it. Like, people have no idea. And that's why I love being in the position I'm in now to be able to make those decisions to have the platform to push the women's division and to put on full shows of the women's division because they've earned it, and it's their time for the spotlight to be on them. And you know, I'm happy that Sisaki is going to be a part of this show. Sisaki is actually teaming up with Sam Street. Sam Street's been on our show once before. We've tried to get on a couple times, but things didn't work out. But she actually handpicked Sam Street to team with Sisaki. So, do you have any history with Sam Street?
Me and Sam have a lot of history, but my phone is about to die. I might have to let you go.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, we could wrap it up real quick.
Yes. Thank you so much. Sorry.
No, absolutely. Like, you know, we blah blah blah. Real quick. So you and Sam are going up against Rebecca Blade and Scarlett Maiden. Um, I'm looking forward to this match. All four of you guys bring something different to the table. But I gotta say, like I've been checking out your opponents, and they're just as tough. So, um, we might have lost her, John. All right. If things get connected, we'll bring her back on, you know, to be able to let her go in style. But if not, the great Sisaki, thank you for taking the time to come on Elevation. Thank you for your inspiration story. You know, like John said, we were all praying for you. And I'm glad God gave you the strength to keep fighting and push it through. And, you know, we're just happy to have you back on the team and back in the ring. John, do you have anything for Sisaki? Can't hear you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just echoing what you said. It's great to have her back. And with everything she's been through, she's an absolute inspiration to others. And it's just amazing to see that she came back and she can do what it is she does. And so I look forward to seeing her match this coming weekend. It's guaranteed to be a good one whenever Sisaki's in the house. So can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a great action-packed weekend. We have a stacked card. Before we bring on Miss Tiphani Grady, let's go ahead and give everybody a preview for what's going on this Saturday night for Broken Barriers in Inwood, West Virginia. John, looking forward to it, man. Broken Barriers. That's the name of the show, and that says it right there with the title. It's giving these women a platform to shine like they always do, to not take a second fiddle to any of the men, to show that they are just as good or even better. Like I said, I'm happy and honored to be able to be in a position I am to set this up. Like I said, these girls did it back in January. Killed it. Freaking killed it. One of the best shows of the year. Almost sold out the place. And from the beginning to the end, every match was great. Fans were in it. Involved the whole time. After the show, everybody was coming up to me in person, sending me messages on social media or sending them to my phone about wanting to do it again. And I promised them that, yes, like, guys, I will find a way to have another women's event. Looked at the calendar, came up with June. And, man, it's going to be a blast, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. The last show was absolutely awesome. And, of course, that's the one where Amara actually won the championship, and she's held that championship ever since that. And so it's gonna be another good show, and look forward to seeing Amara defend that championship at this show, and see, can she come out on top on both the first show of the women as well as this show of the women. So it's guaranteed to be a good show, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, man. Like you said, she won the title in January. She's had this 6 months run. She's been, unstoppable. She's known as the alpha woman, and there's really no other way to describe her as the alpha woman. She'll be in there in a triple threat. One of those competitors is Valerie. As Matt Pinkson says, Her motto is "Pretty always wins," and she has been a mainstay here at WDWA for quite some time. There's been a lot of rotating doors with the female roster, but she has been the one mainstay to constantly be here, constantly carry the women's division. But that being said, man, there's a third participant in this match, John, and this is the wild card, and that's our next guest. John, if you want to give her the introduction, I'll let you. But number 3 for the triple threat, John. Let's hear it, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only, the Temptatious Tiphani Grady, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you don't get to see me now because Gavin just made me mad. I'm
What?
a wild card, Gavin. I'm a wild card. I'm sorry. Last I checked, I've been at WDWA more times than your women's champion has defended it.
Wow.
All right. Let me defend myself real quick. Wild card meaning you have
Wow.
current champion who's defended it for 6 months, and then you had a previous women's champion, and the wild card is the one that's never held the women's championship.
Well, because I've only been there for about a year now.
And how many times have you had a title shot?
I'm sorry, Gerald. I don't know who you put me with. I can't remember his name. He's irrelevant at this point. But my point is, it's his fault I wasn't already valid for the belt. Okay? We're not going to go there, Gavin.
If my memory serves me correctly.
Hold on, wait. Where did we get my tag partner from?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is how it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. You said, "Hey, I want to fight Sam and Valerie." You're like, and I said, "But you need a partner." And you're like, "Well, I don't know anybody." And I was like, "Well, why don't you try to come up with somebody?" And you were like, "I don't like anybody." And I said, "You know what?
I don't like anybody." Well, I like Shane. I like him. He helped me.
I'm
Did
so
his
sorry
job.
I didn't get Shane the first time around.
See, we wouldn't have this problem right now. See, at least you took accountability. Look at that, Gavin.
But
That's
if my
great.
memory serves me correctly, and forgive me because I've been hit on the head a lot, but if my memory serves me correctly, you headbutted Gerard, which cost him the match. John, am I right on that?
He let Sam go.
Sometimes.
Don't agree with him. I'm just saying he clearly doesn't have tight enough grip. Maybe he needs to go back to the gym. I could teach him a few things if he really needs me to. But if he held on to Sam tighter, Sam wouldn't have just disappeared, and I would have headbutt Sam.
No matter how it happened, though, that is what happened. I mean, your head hit his head. That's
Well, then he needs to move faster. See?
I always
Still
thought
not my
two
fault.
eyes are better than one, but not in this case, John.
No, definitely not. I mean, the
meeting
of the minds
wasn't fair. He was some random person. Val and Sam are together. Of course, they have better tag team work than us. That's
John,
not fair.
I see blinking while she's driving. Is she getting pulled over?
No, that wasn't
darn.
me this time.
That would have made some good TV.
This time. Shh, Gavin, don't put my business out there like that. Wow.
But I don't know if you saw, John. There was a video that was surfacing around, when Gerard tried to confront Tiphani. Did you happen to see that?
I did see that. Wow.
That was a bad decision on his part.
I have to say. I mean,
nobody yells at me like that. Nobody gets loud with me.
Somebody slapped the taste out of his mouth.
Well, clearly maybe he needed it. And maybe I should have done that before the match. Maybe things would have went better if I did that before the match. See, because now where is he? He's disappeared. He hasn't even come back since then. See? Maybe he learned a lesson.
I'm sure we'll see him again. But Tiphani, coming off a huge win, first of all, you got to pick your tag partners. You got to pick
Yes,
your
I
tag
did.
partners this time.
This
What
time, see, when I pick my tag partners, you see what happens, right?
What made you pick Shane and Gavin?
I just saw something in them. I knew as a father-son tag team that they had what it took to back me.
And I must say honestly that she couldn't have picked a better tag team. I mean, when it comes to Shane and all his accolades and his son, who's obviously trained by Shane, she couldn't have picked a better tag team to have her back on that one.
See, two people that know each other perfectly well, just like my last opponents who knew each other perfectly well. So their tag flowed. I'm just saying.
Hey, I see Miss Susie Hoss in the chat saying hollow victory, that she cheated to win.
Oh, go cry me a river.
What do you got to say about that? I mean,
I just told you, go cry me a river.
You want to be championship material, but you can't
I
even
am
win
championship
fair and
material. I'm sorry, like I said before, I've been there climbing my way back to the top more times than Amara has defended the belt.
I mean, you're spitting facts. I'm not going to argue with that. But I mean, she's one hell of a champion, and you guys have
You
faced
haven't
each
seen
other
what I
before.
can be yet. What do you mean? You can't say that when I haven't been a champion yet with you. You can't say that.
You've already lost one-on-one with her.
That's Gerald's fault.
No.
That's not my fault.
No.
Yeah.
Prior to Gerald,
I don't know what you're talking about.
you have had a one-on-one match with the Alpha Woman.
I think you've been hit on your head too many times.
You were not
Gavin.
victorious.
You just said it yourself. You've been hit on the head too many times. You're crazy.
John, back me up, buddy.
John, don't back him up. John, stay in the right corner.
I honestly, I do remember a match against her, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
But Gavin, I understand that we do have some remarks about this weekend from Amara. How about we check those out and then see what Tiphani thinks of the remarks that Amara had for this weekend?
Yeah, let's see what the champ has to say.
Triple threat. Valerie, you left this title in the ring. And I, Amara Void, was the only one strong enough to pick it up. We don't have much history, do we? So we'll see what happens when the time comes. As for you, Tiphani, you've been chasing me and chasing me and chasing me. You still have yet to even try to beat me clean. So, with that said, I am walking into Broken Barriers confident that when I walk out, this championship will still be around my waist.
Wow, some strong words.
She's got a lot to say when, I'm sorry, let's recall and bring it back before she even won the belt. I beat her before that, and that was clean and clear with one kick. That's it.
Yep, you're spitting more facts. I remember. So
it's just a matter of time before it happens again. Like I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that belt.
So we've talked a little bit about Amara Void and your feelings towards Amara Void, but what do you think about Valerie? Do you think you have what it takes to beat Valerie? I mean, Valerie, like we said, she's been here at WDWA for years now. She's had that women's championship multiple times. Like, what makes you think that you can one up her to get to Amara? I don't understand.
I'm going to put this very simple, Gavin. She is the past. Amara may be the current, but I will be the future of WDWA. Simply put.
All right, but the opportunity is going to present itself this Saturday. You guys are main eventing an all-women show. So you guys are at the top of the pinnacle. You guys are here. All eyes are going to be on you guys. What do you bring to the table that these other two competitors don't?
Everything. Just because Amara holds the belt there doesn't make her the most dominant woman in WDWA. Every other female, I have come out on top. That is exactly why I am in the spot I'm in, Gavin. And you know that yourself. Every other female you put me against single-handedly, I take them out by myself. And that's clean, and you know it.
I remember Amara Void becoming champion
That was a
by
fluke. That was a
by
fluke.
eliminating you.
Christian
to
costed that.
become
She had
champion.
her out. You know what? That's Christian's fault too. See?
No.
Yes, it is.
John.
Always somebody else's fault, I tell
It is.
you.
It's never my fault. I keep telling you this.
She gets mad. She got mad because I didn't like Dragon Ball Z. And
How do
then
you not like
now,
Dragon Ball Z? I hope that there are so many people watching this right now that you're going to get backlash for this. You know that, right?
I'm
Who
okay
doesn't
with
like
the
Dragon Ball
backlash.
Z? That is horrible.
I'm okay with that.
No, it's
I'm
not.
okay with
That's
the backlash.
bad. No,
I
you
am
shouldn't.
me.
You
I
shouldn't be
like
okay
what I
with that.
like.
That's
But I'm
you
telling
haven't even watched it. That's the
my-
thing. You haven't even watched it.
I tried to watch it. My point is that what you think may not be right. Is kind of where I'm going with that.
That's totally Gavin. Yup.
Hardcore Hoss,
Yeah.
are you a fan of Dragon Ball Z?
I honestly do not follow it at all.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. You know
Thank
what?
you.
I want some new stipulations to this match. When I win that belt, Gavin has to watch Dragon Ball Z now.
If you win that belt, I will watch an episode of your choosing of Dragon Ball
There we
Z.
go. I hope your wife's watching this so she
Because-
knows that she's got to put this on. I'm going to send her it, and you're going to have to watch it.
You can send it to her. The good
I
thing
will.
about this is that I'll never know what it is because I don't think that you could beat Amara
Wow.
individually. I don't
Wow.
think that you can
The
beat
doubt is
Valerie
real there.
individually.
The doubt is
much
real
less
there.
both
I'm
of
sorry.
them.
Last I checked,
Well-
it's not my fault that her little extra man, I'm not sure what he was at the time. It wasn't Sam. It was somebody else. That's not my problem. He wasn't my extra. That was her problem for not keeping her men in line. I beat Valerie clean and clear.
But you know, there is one little thing here you got to remember, Gavin. How many times has she won that it hasn't been above board per se winning? And in a triple threat match, there is no rules. So the little tricks that she's pulled off in the past, they're legal.
See, more facts. This is why I like Elevation. We spit facts. But you know what? Whatever's legal to use for Grady is just as legal for Void and Valerie, right? So if she's able to step up their game, they can step up their game. You know, prior to Grady stealing that win from Salute to the Fallen, she was not number one contender for this title. Valerie was, you know, but her stealing this victory and pinning the champion, she stole this spot, you know. For some reason, I see that the fans are behind you. Besides Susie Hoss, who says, Dragon, what? It sucks.
See, she clearly knows what it is, though. See?
You know what? Like, I won't say it sucks. I say I am just not into it. I gave it
We'll change
full
that. Don't worry.
effort. It didn't work out. And
Wow, it sounds like a bad relationship. Wow.
Those who like it, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You
It
know,
hurts you.
and not just Susie. It seems Sheila doesn't think much of her either.
Oh, God. I'm going to cry.
She's going to try to Kamehameha the triple threat. I think.
See, he knows some things. Look, it's going to come out that Gavin secretly watches this. Watch.
I think he's looking at Google.
Like, I just remember.
He just ratted you out. Guys.
I just remember, like, when I was in middle school, and we'll get back on. We'll get back on this in a second. But now that we're talking about this, I just remember in middle school, I think it was, somebody told me a guy's name was, I think, Majin Buu.
Yep.
And I always thought his name was Knockin' Boots. So, like, whenever we talked about it, I was like, hey, like, is that Knockin' Boots? And that was kind of the thing. But I don't even know what that guy looks like. So, anyways,
John,
John.
back to Saturday.
All right. this Saturday, another all-women show. You were at
Yep.
the first show. Tell us about your experience at that first show, because, like I said, to me, it's an honor to be able to showcase women and all their abilities. To be able to have them out there with none of the men wrestlers, to definitely show that they can hold their own. How was that experience for the first go around?
Are you asking me, Gavin, or are you asking him? Because you cut out.
I am
sorry.
asking Temptatious Tiphani Grady.
Oh,
How was it
well,
like to be on the first all-women show back in January, besides losing the Rumble to Amara Void?
see, I was about to get
how
all like
was
sappy for a second for you and be like, it's truly an honor to be a part of the first WDWA women's thing and all that. No, now I'm not going to tell you that. See, that now you're just being rude. I asked you if you were talking to me, so I wasn't rude to
Well,
your co-host.
I have to make sure that when you answer the question that you weren't going to bring up how you lost in the Rumble.
Well,
to
are we going to
Amara
bring up the
Void.
fact that I was the longest woman in the Rumble? Or are we going to go back and count on the tape that I got most of the women out?
We can talk about
other than,
we could talk about how you
the
were
one woman.
in the Rumble the longest.
You did that on purpose.
But as long as we don't talk about Amara Void eliminating
It's
you,
like Bruno. Shh.
I don't
We
think
don't talk
we
about
need to,
Bruno.
I don't think we need to bring that up. So let's
We don't
talk
talk
about
about
your
Bruno.
match.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
talk about you being in the Rumble for a while, but let's not talk about Amara Void eliminating you for the heavyweight championship. So
exactly.
Your match.
Yeah, there we go. Look, at least we're on the same page. Great.
We're
awesome.
on the same page because we don't want to talk about Amara Void eliminating you in the Rumble. So you had a match on the show against Katie Thorne.
Yes, I did.
How was that?
Yes, I did. We are very familiar with each other, and that ended up coming out on top, as you saw, Gavin. What more can I say to you?
So what did you think when I reached out to you about working an all-women show for our company?
I knew it was going to come with something because it was just more women standing in my way for my belt. So I was frustrated with you. All I knew is that there was going to be more people to stand in my way. And then all of a sudden it became a whole Rumble. And then you stuck me out there as number 3. And hey, and I quote it from you, I am your Iron Woman of WDWA. We don't highlight that enough, though, do we? I didn't get no medal for that. I didn't even get talked about for that. You just want to talk bad about me. See?
I'm not. So again, we're shooting facts. It doesn't matter if you're second place when it comes to the Rumble.
That's what we teach the kids nowadays. Wow.
And the position of your entry is random.
No, it wasn't.
It was random.
So I'm gonna find footage. There's footage somewhere that you purposely put me through to torture me. I know it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
You're plotting against me. There's somebody in there that's gonna get that footage.
John, you got that footage?
I've never seen it, but
No, it's there.
Hey.
It'll be there. Watch.
I've never seen it either.
Watch.
But Katie Thorne, long history.
Thorn in my side. That I just can't seem to get rid of. Which I just beat this past weekend again. So
you guys worked this past weekend as well?
Yes, we did.
Where were you guys working at?
We were in Elmwood Park, New Jersey.
Yeah?
Yes,
You want to
we
put
did.
over the company?
We so I'll talk to you about that after. The show was so every year they just run a different show, but it's they don't have a name for the company. But the owner that runs the promotion every year, because it is a fundraiser, his name is DJ Storms. This year he ran Off the Rails. Last year it was Battle at the Burrows. Apologize. But usually he collaborates with ECPW and, from what I know, Victory Pro as well.
So I know, we've talked in the past, a little bit about how you broke into the business. We just talked to Sisaki about how she got started and everything else. How did you get started, and where did you get started, and what made you interested in becoming a wrestler?
I think I say this to everybody. Like, we all at one point claim, hey, it was in the family. I watched it as a kid, this and that. But that really wasn't too much it for me. Like, yeah, obviously I watched it with my family growing up and all that, but I was looking for something more after I had my kids. So I didn't start wrestling until after I had both of my kids. And I wanted to show my kids that there was more than just me being a stay-at-home mom or working a 9 to 5 job, that I could handle everything at home while having a full-time career as well.
And where did you get your start at?
I started in Wharton, New Jersey with Damian Adams.
Nice. Is there a name for that school?
Well, currently he does not have a school from what I know, but if you are ever a female that needs advice or is looking for the best input from a coach, I would reach out to Damian Adams on social media.
And was there anybody else that was in that camp with you that is working that we could help put them over?
There is Tina San Antonio, Kelly Madden, Steven Stetson, Andy Bivians, Don Pedro, the shot caller. The whole team over at Team Adams truly was a huge impact in everything that I do now. Genuinely, I would not be who I am without all those people.
Yeah, WDWA has brought in Steve Stetson a couple times. I wouldn't mind having him back. He was pretty impressive when I saw him. He hasn't been in since I've taken over.
Yeah.
But he was one of the guys when I was running commissioner for WDWA that when he came in, he was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing
He's
business.
a great guy.
Yeah. John, you remember him?
I do remember the name. I don't remember a lot about him, but I do remember his name from being there before.
Yeah, he showed up with a cowboy hat. I wish I can remember the guy that he worked because both of those guys were great and put on a great show, great match, great performance. And right now, you're doing stuff up with Samoans, right?
So I actually, after I was with Damien for a couple years, about a little more than 4 years with him. And it was never anything with Damien. Like I said, he's a great coach, great start. I would not be who I am without him being my original coach. But then I live out here in Pennsylvania, so I ended up looking for a school out here, and Alpha Junior runs a training center out in Broadheadsville, Battlefield. And I joined there about almost now 3 years ago.
And how long? So you started in Alpha Junior school about 3 years ago, and you still train there, or you take over some, or are you one of the trainers, or?
So I help when when the newer females were coming in and everything. I would help out with the new females coming in.
And are any of those females working these days?
Currently, we have just me and Kate Thorne. We are working with a young woman currently coming up. Her name is Aurora Lee. So, big future with her, hopefully.
Maybe she would not eliminate you from the Rumble.
Well, no, she wouldn't.
That we shouldn't talk about. But
I'm gonna get you duct tape.
So John, Dragon Ball Z aside, do you think Tiphani has a good chances for this weekend?
Well, like I said before, she has done whatever it takes to win matches and to get back to the top. And some of the things may have been questionable in previous matches, but in this match, it's all legal. So I think she stands a good chance at it because I know she is willing to do whatever it takes, irregardless of what that may be, and so Yeah, she has a decent shot at winning the championship, I think, and it's going to
Yeah.
be a good match, though.
I mean, you make a lot of great points. Definitely will be in Tiffany's realm of being a no disqualification match. One thing I did notice during the champions video is if you hear it in the background, you can hear people training. So that being said, is she's still balls to the wall training every day, getting better as the days go by. And I don't know, man. I find it very hard, to beat her and excuse me, right there with Valerie, who's pretty much beaten almost every
I feel like
woman
you're
that's come
undermining me
forward.
right now, Gavin. I really do. I feel like you're undermining me, and I feel like now I have something bigger to prove at this point.
Yeah, which is good. You should feel that way. You should feel that you have something to prove because you're in there with two people that have really set the bar for the women's division. And with all due respect, you haven't got that notch in your belt yet.
Oh,
I
just
think.
because I haven't held a belt. Is that what we're coming to? Is just because I haven't held a belt yet?
Well, the thing is, you are measured. Your abilities are measured by your accomplishments, right? So, all I'm saying is that you will be in the ring with two women that have knocked it out of the park for WDWA, who have had their moment, and this could either be your moment to shut up all the naysayers, or this would be a big failure for you. The ball's in your court.
I'm not a failure. I keep telling you this to begin with, so.
But one thing for sure in this match, it is a triple threat match, not a rumble, so Amara can't eliminate her this time. So, that's one thing for sure that she's got going in her favor.
These ladies need to just be prepared flat out. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm either going to walk out with that belt or I'm going to be carried out with the belt. Either way, I'm going home with it.
Well, I definitely think that you're pumped up. You're ready to go. I think you have the ability to be in that match. I think that the stakes are high for everyone, but I think the stakes are higher for you more than anybody else. You have clawed your way up to the top. You have earned that shot. You have earned your spot in WDWA. That there's no doubt about that. I'm looking forward to seeing if you're able to accomplish what you're out to accomplish. I think it's going to be a great main event. I think all three of you women bring something different to the table and are fantastic. John, do you have anything for Tiffany?
I was just going to point out that, you talk about all the things that she has. She does actually have the momentum going into this match as well, because she is coming off of a win where she actually pinned the women's champion. So she does have that momentum
I love how
going
Gavin
into this
doesn't point that
match.
out. He wants to talk about how his women's champion's done this and that. But I did pin your women's champion. Valerie may have beaten other women to get to the top. Yes. I pinned
Including you.
Tamara.
Including you.
No. That was help with her boyfriend and Jeremy or Gerald or I can't remember his name. Stop this. This is gonna look bad because then he's gonna see this and he's gonna cry.
Well, that's between you guys.
I blocked his number. Shh.
John, will you watch Dragon Ball Z?
Come on, John. Come on.
If you have to watch an episode of it, I'll watch one with you. How's that?
All right.
See, stakes are getting really high now.
I'm not even worried about it because, it is what it is. But like I said, Tiffany, like if you don't bring it, I can't keep giving you all these opportunities.
You know what, Gavin? Let's make this better. How about I don't get another opportunity if I don't walk off with the belt?
Are you sure you want to do it? Like that's
Since you have such doubt that I'm walking out with that belt, since you're undermining my experience and the type of person I am and the dedication I have going into this match, let's put it all on the line then, Gavin.
I'm not doubting that you can't do it.
I'm sorry, John. Let's bring John back into this. That's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
I think that the stakes, like, there's more riding on it for you than the other two.
Exactly. So I have nothing else to lose, unlike these women.
I think
that's what makes me more of a force to not be reckoned with.
So
Valerie's probably sitting somewhere watching a play. Amara's probably just filming something in front of her ring just so she can get content for you. But go watch everything that I post every week single-handedly, Gavin. You see what I'm doing out there. Let's not deny that. But since I have more to prove than every other female, I'm going to give it more than every other female.
I think the one thing that we haven't mentioned, John, is Tiphani doesn't have to pin the champion.
This is very true. She can win without pinning Amara, and Amara could lose the title off of that. That's a valid point that we haven't brought up.
Yeah. Well, Tiphani, we appreciate you coming on today. We are happy to have you, and good luck this Saturday.
I don't need luck.
DBR Dragon Ball Z because I just don't think I would need to.
Wow.
But
I'll make sure I leave you my Netflix account so that you can get into it. It's okay.
But I am honored to have you, Amara Void, and Valerie headline this show. I think all three of you guys have worked super hard. I am honored to have the three of you represent WDWA with what we bring to the table. So thank you. Good luck. John, do you have anything else for Tiphani?
Just best of luck to you Saturday, and just look forward to seeing this match because I know it's going to be a good one with the determination that Tiphani has, and with Pretty always wins, and Amara wanting to hold on to that title. This is going to be one heck of a match.
Yep. All right, Tiphani, any last words?
No, I'm aggravated. All you need to know is that be prepared for Saturday, Gavin. I'm not even worried about my opponents. You need to be prepared for Saturday.
I'm prepared. I just got to figure out who I'm going to have, face Valerie or Amara afterwards.
Wow.
But
wow. I'm going to go on a whole vacation after I win the belt. I hope you know that. I'm going to go on a whole vacation. I'm going to take the belt everywhere I go. Everywhere.
Well, since you said that, it's all or nothing for this Saturday, that might be a long vacation.
Hey. Well,
Well, again, Tiphani, thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck in your match Saturday. We appreciate you taking the time, and good luck.
Thanks, Gavin. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Well, that was certainly interesting, I tell you.
Yeah, man, she is don't get me wrong. Tiphani is a tremendous talent. But when you get that ego about yourself and stuff like that, you end up, you take your eyes off the ball, of where you need to be. And I think because she's so ego driven that she's not going to be able to focus on what it's going to take to beat the alpha woman, much less beat Valerie. I think that Tiffany's great in the ring. She brings a lot to the table. She's super powerful. She uses the gory special to beat people, which a lot of women don't just display their power. And Tiphani has picked up women of all sizes and shapes and been able to plant them. I just feel that, the alpha woman is not ready to give up her spot. And I feel like Valerie's been so hungry to get back there. And, it's just, and now that she's saying, if I don't win, I'm never going to go for it again. She just upped the stakes even more on herself. So, by all means, I want all competitors to give it their best. But man, I mean, she just stacked the deck against her brother.
Yeah, but with everything we've been talking about here, I think it's time that we go into our next segment where we get to the fans weigh in. And the fan just disappeared. But yeah, hopefully he'll reconnect here. Oh, here he comes.
I think he connected. Feel free to go ahead and start, John. I'm going to step right out of the room real quick. I'll be right back. Feel free to go ahead and start the weigh in.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. I've been watching the comments. I've been looking and been seeing who's been really throwing out some comments tonight, as I do each and every show. And it's time for the fans weigh in. And this week I have sent the link to a man who's done disappeared again. I sent the link to somebody who he tends to lean more towards the heels. So I'm sure he's got a lot to say tonight. So let's welcome the one and only Gary. How's it going tonight, Gary?
Good. I love AK Bane. One of the best heels is the champion. Tiphani Grady. Time for her to get her championship. She's at every show. I'm loving it. I feel great about this weekend.
All right. Well, I know I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be one heck of a show, and one that nobody's going to want to miss.
No.
At the South Berkeley Fire Hall, Broken Barriers, South Berkeley Fire Hall this weekend. Be sure not to miss it. So
the first women's show, as you know, I was a major fan. I think it was like probably one of the top shows I've been to. And then women bought their A game, and it was amazing.
Yes, they did. They absolutely did. So let's look at a few of the matches. I know Gavin's going to join us again, but let's go ahead and look at a few of the matches. Start out with Eden Gray versus Zenith. Have you seen either?
I don't know too much about Eden Gray's Zenith. I love her style. I love her performance. I think she's very athletic. Eden Gray's got a little size, but sometimes that speed can kill you. So I think I like Zenith on this one.
All right. Honestly, I'm not too familiar with either one of them, but like you, I have seen stuff that some stuff that Zenith has done. So, I think I'm going to have to take her on this one too. And, we'll find out who Gavin's going to take when he comes back. So it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. And
it looks pretty equal.
Hey, sorry about that, guys.
Not a problem. So, Gavin, we were just talking about Eden Gray versus Zenith. And so far, Gary and I both have kind of picked Zenith, mostly because we've heard of her more than we have Eden Gray. But what's your thoughts on that?
So first, excuse me. That's why I had to step off, man. I keep coughing. First off, like when I saw this pairing, I was totally wowed. I mean, I know you guys talked about Zenith. We've had Zenith there before. When Zenith was there prior, she impressed the hell out of me. Super strong, super athletic. So I needed to find somebody that would be a good match for her. And I found Eden Gray, who, if you guys haven't seen her, I mean, she is just as strong as Zenith, super athletic. To me, this is a match that's on the card that could easily steal the show. Both of these are, girls. This is going to be a hard hitting match, very powerful match. I'm actually going to go with Eden Gray on this, though. I've been, prior to reaching out to people, I try to do a little bit of research about them. And with all due respect to Zenith, because if I pick Eden Gray, it's just like one notch above Zenith. But man, some of the stuff I've seen Eden Gray do has impressed me so much, and I'm gonna have to go with Eden Gray on that one.
All right. Well, it's definitely going to be a hard hitting match. No two ways about it. But let's see what else we got on the card here.
Oh man!
Oh, there's my girl. There's my girl.
Tiphani Avatar versus
There she is.
Liberty the Villainess. Liberty L. The former.
I like Tiphani, but I'm telling you, the other girl just looks like she looks like she's a beast and ready to go.
Well,
that's what I can say.
Gary, if you're not aware, do you remember Scarlett?
Yeah.
That's Scarlett.
Oh, all right. Then I'm going. Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
So Liberty L, formerly known as Scarlett, makes her in-ring return against the Cotton Candy Princess Tiphani Avatar.
I gotta go with Liberty Scarlett. Definitely, she's a beast, man. She is a beast. God.
So Avatar has been in WDWA a handful of times. She's had mixed success. Sometimes she comes in and wins, and sometimes she doesn't. But anybody that knows the history of when Liberty L, aka Scarlett, was in WDWA, man, she beat up everyone. It didn't matter if you were a woman, if you were a man. She completely trampled everyone. And she has this new alter ego, Liberty L, and she's making her return. And man, like, I don't know if she's the same Scarlett or not. But man, I'm worried for Avatar, because if she's anything like she used to be, oh my God, the whole women's division better take notice.
Have the ambulance on standby.
Yeah.
Yes, she seems to have a streak about her that just reminds me of a little bit of Scarlett, and just really being the villainess that she claims to be. She's going to be a tough one. She really is.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm going to have to take Liberty in this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a clean sweep right there.
And, so many people have said you need to keep track of these. I'm writing it down now. I'm just
all right,
just to see.
So next time, so next week, Gary, you gotta come watch the show to see if it was me, Hoss, or yourself, whoever took the lead.
Just send me the links. I know, like, he sent me links and kept me on track. Can I say one thing real quick?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you see my Facebook. I gotta give God the glory, man. I was in a major wreck Saturday and almost killed me, Carol, the baby, and her daughter. I'm on Interstate 81 Falling Waters. We hit a dip during the rainstorm. Couldn't see. Somebody came in our lane. I tapped the brakes, dude. Hydroplane about 20 miles prior to the Jersey wall. Back to the middle lane, hit a tractor trailer, back to the Jersey wall. And we just kept praying the whole time. And God just split the interstate like that where nobody else hit us while we were wrecking.
Wow. No, I'm sorry, Gary. I wasn't aware, man.
People's been praying stuff. So I was just telling everybody, I got to give God the glory. Because, interstate wrecking, for nobody else to hit us, that was God.
Yeah, well, I'm glad
so I was telling all the fans, people that see it, yep. So I was going to say thanks for all the people that were watching and praying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw the pictures.
God is great.
Yes, he is.
But
So,
I will be there Saturday with the 2 kids. We're ready.
all right. So another match on the card for Saturday. It's going to be the CCW Women's Championship with Ace Montana as a special guest referee. And this is another stacked one with Jade Onyx and
That's Vasquez. I love Vasquez, man.
yeah. So what are your thoughts, Gavin?
Well, last time we saw Keely Capri and Kim Kirsten get in the ring with each other, man, those girls were awesome. Like both of them. I mean, Keely Capri won, but she barely won. Kim Kirsten, man, wow. Like I wasn't too familiar with her prior to her coming in. And when she came in, she totally wowed me. She hasn't even been wrestling that long. She's young at age. Like to me, she could hold her own against anyone. I think the fact that she's young might hurt her a little bit because other people have a little bit more experience. But man, like give her a good 5 years or so, man, like she's gonna be unstoppable. But Keely Capri, she is the CCW champion. She has been up and down the East Coast defeating everybody. She has totally been setting the bar for the women's division. You know, she has just been awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen her or not or catch the CCW show, but I've seen footage of her jumping off the top of a cage to win matches. I mean, she's a little sassy and she's a little she's a badass, man, but she's a daredevil. I think she'll give it all. We've had Valentina in before, Vasquez, Latina Heat. That's what we call her. She was very impressive when she came in. I'm happy to have her back. We've been trying to get her in for quite some time. But she's been up north, just killing it up there. And that's why we haven't been able to get her in because she's been up, in multiple other organizations winning matches. And she's just been on high demand. And, this is a first for Jade Onyx to come work for us. She reached out. She really wanted to be a part of this show. And, we definitely found a spot for her. And everything I've seen with her, she's been killing it down south. So we got a little bit of everything in this match. So, man, like to me, partnering up with Commonwealth Championship Wrestling, Big Ace Montana, this just shows, what pro wrestling's all about. Whenever people can collaborate together just for the sake of putting on a good show. I got a lot of respect for Ace. I got a lot of respect for these 4 women. I am proud to work with them to be able to put this show on. But man, if we have to pick somebody for this match, pick a winner. Oh man, it would be hard. It would be hard for me to bet against Keely. So I'm gonna have to go with Keely. What about you, Gary?
I when I watched anyhow, I don't think there would be no losers in this match here because I remember, like you said, Keely and Kirsten, I lost my voice in that match. And Kirsten, like you said, is young, had a couple little hiccups, but you can tell she knows her stuff. She's building and growing. Vasquez, I mean, she's a scrapper. I like them little scrappers like that. You know me, and she held her own. I don't know Jade that well, but she looks like she knows. I don't think there's. I'm gonna take Vasquez, but I don't think there's gonna be a loser. I'll probably lose my voice. I'm sure. I'll lose my voice. I'm sure.
So the loser in this is his voice, and we all win.
I like Vasquez. I mean, all I gotta say is I think no offense, I think the women's division is better than the men's. I think for fighting wise for championships, like there's just too much talent.
Yeah.
Not taking from the men, but just all equalness. Like new people coming in, it's like, man, she could win. Man, she could win. Who wins?
And that's what's good, man. That's what's good about here at WDWA. These women are coming in knocking down doors, and just like the men, you just never know what to expect. Just when you think you know something, boom, man, something else happens. And I think that's one of the best things about pro wrestling is you could have all your chips on the table and lose them based off of what you think might happen, and you just never know.
Exactly.
John, what about you, man?
Yeah, Gary was talking about it's hard to pick who would win, and it really is. It's hard to say. because there's a lot of great talent in this match. And one thing for sure is winners are definitely going to be the fans. They're going to be big winners in this. But for Keely to be coming up here and putting her CCW title on the line, I got to go with Keely because she's going to be really fighting and scrapping to retain, and I know that she can be one heck of a fighter. So I have to go with Keely on that one.
Yeah, and the thing is, just like we mentioned about Tiphani earlier, is we didn't talk about how Keely doesn't have to be pinned. When you throw that wild card in, it's four ways are and triple threats, and whenever you have multiple people in a match where everybody's fighting on their own, man, there's so many variables that the way things could go, and really you just have to go in there. You have to be smart. You have to be tough. You have to outsmart, out wrestle everybody. I mean, we have no pun intended. We have the ace in the hole, Ace Montana. I have a little bit of footage. I don't have it saved right now, but I definitely would get it up on social media. But Ace Montana has actually been training with Earl Hebner. So he's definitely trying to get the refereeing gig down. He's definitely going to try to bring his all. I'll try to get that footage to everybody. If I can get it to you next show, I will.
He mentioned that when he was on Wrestle Talk that he had been training with Earl Hebner, and one thing he did say is it may be the CCW championship, and he may be the person at CCW, but he will still count the 3 right down the line, irregardless whose shoulders are pinned to that mat. And if CCW loses their championship, they lose their championship. But it's definitely going to be a hard fought match.
Yeah, and I understand, completely, now that I wear the owner's hat about, when you're seeking talent and stuff like that, what would be a better resume or job interview if you won another organization's title? To me, that would be, you're just cashing in checks right now for CCW as they bring you in. So all the girls that are a part of CCW and all the girls that aren't, there's so much at stake for this match. John, you want to let us know about the next match?
Yeah, so the next match we got there on the card, Stevie Brooks versus Gabby Gilbert in a Lumberjill match.
Yeah, this match, man, as we talked about the first women's show of the year, holy hell. I mean, anybody that's followed Gabby Gilbert, she's always been, jolly and full of life and, things like that. But it was that tag match where they had a miscue and Stevie Brooks accidentally speared Gabby Gilbert, which Gabby Gilbert was very unforgiving and took out all of her frustration on Stevie Brooks. And this started back in January. And these two, like all over social media, everything, they've just been at each other's throats. And they are happy to be able to get their hands on each other after all this time. And, Stevie Brooks, she does not want Gabby to run away. She has to have a lumberjack match so that Gabby, can't be scared and use her different tactics, things like that she's been using to win matches. And Gabby accepted, man. So I mean, this match,
are y'all leaving?
Familiar with lumberjill matches and lumberjack matches?
You're good. I personally couldn't hear you. Sorry,
John. Can't hear you, John.
No, I was saying I'm definitely familiar with that type of match, and I'm sure Gary wants to be one of the lumberjacks on the side of the ring. but yeah, this match is just absolutely going to be crazy, and if you get outside of the ring, you better hope that you've got some friends out there, because otherwise, if it's somebody you've made mad, they're liable to, when they throw you back in the ring, not do it so gently, and you're liable to take a few licks from the Lumberjills themselves. So,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, we talked about those two powerhouses, Eden Gray and Zenith. They'll be outside. Nothing against the girls, but you have those two. You'll have Liberty L out there. Like, these are a bunch of girls that I wouldn't want to be hit with, much less, people that are half my size. Like,
Susie says she wants to be a Lumberjill.
So between you and Gary, you guys be able to handle it. So,
Let's
Gary, who do you got, buddy? Who do you got in this match?
After January show, I think after January show, when Gabby snapped, there was something in her face that the aggression was there, and like I'm scared. If I was Stevie, I'd be scared because when Gabby just looked at her and just snapped on her, took everybody to get her off. Like I think it would took probably 800 people to get her off of Stevie that day, and I think she's gonna snap. But like you said, it's gonna play with the people on the outside too. But I like Gabby because that when she snapped, she snapped.
So he's going with Gabby. John, who you going with, bud?
Yeah, and this match, Stevie Brooks versus Gabby Gilbert. You're going to have those Lumberjills on the outside, and I'm sure they're going to come into play. Gabby's going to have nowhere to go. I honestly look for Stevie to take this one.
Wow, here I am, the tiebreaker again. We're back here. I'll be real quick about this, guys. Stevie Brooks, if you're not familiar with her, she's trained at the world famous Monster Factory, one of the best places in the United States, much less the world, that you could learn from. So if there's anybody that's going to teach you the rights and wrongs and what to do, what not to do, and how to be a great pro wrestler, it's the team up there at Monster Factory. I give them all the praise. But if you guys aren't aware about Gabby Gilbert's history, I mean, she's got 20 years in the business. She's worked all over the world, Japan, like everywhere. She's done stuff for Ring of Honor. She's been amazing. She's one of the head trainers at CZW. She is so knowledgeable about this business. And with all due respect to Stevie Brooks, I think just knowledge is going to take this match. I don't know if Stevie Brooks is familiar with working Lumberjill matches. Every match is different. You have to learn how to work different styles, different types of matches. And I'm just going to have to give this to Gabby Gilbert on this one.
All right. So I'm out on that island all alone by myself.
I got you, John. I'll bring you in.
So, all right. Now we come to the main event that we were talking about earlier. That triple threat match for the WDWA Women's Championship. Let's see, Valerie Verman versus Amara Void, who is your champion, versus Temptatious Tiphani Grady.
Oh, man. John, let's start with you this time. I mean, you heard what we had to say. You've heard what Tiphani had to say. You've heard what Amara has to say. We've yet to hear from Valerie. She's one that we don't know what she's thinking at the moment, but we know Valerie's history. We know what Valerie brings to the table. What are your thoughts, man? With this going anyway.
It's like I said before. I have seen Tiphani do some underhanded things in the ring, and that's all going to be legal. I've also seen Valerie do a few underhanded things that is going to be legal. So it's definitely going to be a hard-hitting match. And, honestly, Tiffany's putting it all on the line, and Tiphani is determined, and she's got a certain fire that's fueling her. So I think I'm going to have to take Tiphani on this one. After talking to her tonight and everything, I really think she's focusing herself that she's gonna win. I mean, she has no choice almost with putting the her contention on the line in the future. She has no choice but to win. So I'd have to take Tiphani on this one.
What about you, Gary?
Another great. I mean, you put three people in there that any one of them could win. I personally, because she's been at every show, putting every effort in, even though teaming up some bad people, except for Gaven and them all. But I like Tiphani. I think she's getting the fans are winning. She's winning the fans over. She is talented. What I would love to see is, you know me, JTR come out and help her beat Amara, and she joins Money and Power. But I like Tiffany's heart and soul. She's there pretty much every show. Not taking away from the others, but again, the fans are going to be winners, and whoever wins is a winner, and they're all winners regardless who loses. But I gotta go with Tiphani. It's her time. Plus, I want to see you watch Dragon Ball Z. I don't like it. I would never watch it, but that's all you.
Yeah, like I don't want to watch it. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Whatever 20. Man, that's probably 30 years now. Wow.
I'm
like
old.
30 years
I'm
ago, I didn't
old.
think it. But you know what? Like I was busting on Tiphani earlier. I don't want to have a misperception of my thoughts on her. Honestly, it's the wrestler in me. When I see it get a rise out of somebody, I just keep digging and digging and digging. But all serious, I think Tiffany's a fantastic talent. She definitely sets the bar for somebody that's a hard worker. She mentioned that she helps train up with Alpha Junior. If you guys are familiar, she's been traveling everywhere, working so many different people, so many different styles. I do think that she has a great shot at winning this title, and she could be a great champion. Valerie, who I've publicly said this before, she has been the face of the women's division for a couple years now. She's been the one that if anybody was going to be successful in WDWA, that you had to go through Valerie. Very little people have. She's been able to be dominant and stop them, and then we've never seen them again here at WDWA. Just because they can't get over that hump. They can't bring themselves up to Valerie's level. And then you have Amara Void, she's super young, and she found success young in this business, and wherever she's going, she's finding success everywhere. She is a tough girl. Super focused, super, willing to learn. She trains. I mean, I was jokingly mentioned about her training earlier, but man, if you guys seriously know her, she trains multiple times a week. She is constantly picking people's brains. All of her success she's earned, and she's been a great champion. And you know what? I'm going to have to go with her. I'm going to have to go with Amara Void. I think, her time, she's not ready to give that up yet. I think it's still her time. I think that she's been a great champion so far, and she still has a long road ahead of her. So, yeah, I'm going to have to put my money on Amara Void.
So Gaven is on the island by himself this time. So
yeah, it seems to be the way it goes.
So, irregardless, as we said before, no matter what, the big winner of the night is going to be the fans.
That's right.
Because this is going to be one heck of a show. And I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure Gary's looking forward to it. It's going to be something that you don't want to miss. So
yeah, definitely. If you live locally and you can make the show, definitely, take the opportunity to make the drive. Definitely give these women support. Definitely come support WDWA and everything we do. We always try to bring the best entertainment that we can. If for some reason you can't make it, or you don't live close, or you live in a different state or a different country, follow us on our YouTube. Follow us on all of our other channels. Follow us here on Elevation. Really as a whole, this women's all women's show. I'm super proud of, and I think it should be showcased everywhere. And I do think that all these women need to get the recognition that they need, that they deserve. With the guests we have tonight and the matches we've shown tonight, this is just going to be a fantastic show. Glad to be a part of it. Glad to be able to promote it here. Gary, we were so glad that you were able to join us tonight and give your insight and your weigh in on everything. Like you're a big part of the WDWA family. You always have been. So it was an honor to have you here, tonight. John, do you have anything for Gary?
Just thanks for being here, Gary. I appreciate you coming on with us, and look forward to seeing you Saturday. So
Thank y'all again, Gavin. You put on a hell of a promotion. I try, even when I miss it, I'm sad. So I even try Ubering. So if something happens with vehicle, so like I said, I love what you're doing. It's amazing, John. Your broadcasting and everything, your family. It's just a family show. So I told everybody, they're like, why do you go? It's like 10 years you've been going. It's family. It's even the wrestlers. They're all family of each. It's fun. Y'all have your soap operas. Let me have my fun. And you've seen. I've got many people to come. Some good, some bad. But at the end of the day, just like you seen last week, first time ever, my girlfriend now, who finally I'm happy, loved it. She was bragging. She got home, told everybody the next day, man, what the wrestle I thought was gonna be the worst thing I ever watched. Like, now I gotta fight my 2 kids on who's going with Gary next week.
There you go.
So it's a good, fun atmosphere. I love what you're doing with it. I just see bigger things. Like I love South Berkeley Fire Hall. Not being rude, I think that's small for what the future holds. I think it's going to be bigger than what you think soon. That's my vision.
Well, man, I've always thought highly of you, man. We've always had a great relationship as long as I've known you. You would come out when I would wrestle, and you would give me support. And now that I'm the owner of WDWA, you're constantly giving me support and all your love. I can't thank you enough for all the kind words and just everything you do for us. You spreading the word for us and you helping build the WDWA family and the WDWA community, man. It means a lot, and you do that genuinely. And I, I don't have enough good things to say about you with what you bring to the table. I'm glad that you're part of the WDWA family. I'm glad that you choose to spend your time with us. And you know what, man, I hope you're right. I hope that, that we get bigger and bigger and bigger. And, maybe we'll get 1,000 Garys in the audience one day. So,
oh, no, we don't.
Oh, there's only one of me, buddy. There's only one of me. JTR, baby. JTR. But no, honestly, my son still got your pride and glory wristbands and headband from 10 years ago when you and the Italian guy. He still got those at his house to this day.
That's awesome, man. That means a
lot.
lot.
John, I appreciate you, your family. Gavin, I love you and your wife, man. The wrestlers you do and the booking you do, and I'm not being rude. Like, even if your wife, sometimes my card was hacked or whatever, y'all let me in. I pay it back fully. So I thank y'all for everything, man.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Anytime. All right, Gary, buddy. Thank you for joining us tonight, man. Taking the time. I'm glad you guys are all safe from that accident, man. Hopefully, insurance and stuff.
We got Gap, we got insurance, and she said if we have to, we're Ubering Saturday, so we'll be there. The boys awesome. Won't let me. The boys won't let me miss it out. Sorry.
That's awesome, man.
God bless y'all. Keep being a visit.
Gary.
You too,
yes, sir. Just keep visiting things.
We will.
See you, buddy. See y'all.
Take care, man.
All right, Gavin. I think we got another one in the books here. Another great show tonight, and got a great show lined up for Saturday, and I know I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you are too. So,
yeah,
can't wait.
Episode 3, man, is in the books. Again, John, it was a blast. I'm gonna go ahead and pitch the show one more time for everybody. If you guys can make it out, it's Broken Barriers, all female show. I've been saying it all night, all these hardworking women, getting the time to showcase their talent. It'll be this Saturday night. Doors open up at 5:30. Bell time 6:15. We will be at the South Berkeley Fire Hall in Inwood, West Virginia. All tickets are $20. So please, try to get out there. Try to, bring a friend, bring a family member. Help. If you're a big wrestling fan, tell everybody, what you love about wrestling. And let's make this world bigger. And show more love. So yeah, if you can make it out the Broken Barriers, please make it out. If not, hit us up on Frontline. We're looking forward to it. John, enjoyed another night with you, man. Looking forward to doing this in 2 more weeks. And take us home, John.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tune in to Wrestle Talk next Tuesday night, where, we have another great show lined up there. You'll see a couple of the board members from the St. Louis Independent Hall of Fame. And there we go. You see Nikki O'Shaughnessy and John Doherty, 2 great members of the St. Louis Independent Hall of Fame. So be sure to tune into that, and be sure to check us out in 2 weeks. And we just really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. And until then, you have a great time.